So I'm looking at this situation, and I don't really watch these type of videos too much anymore. And the reason why they're really hard to watch, this one's not too bad. But it's the video with I don't know how to say her name. I think it's Wanish, Wanish. I'm not sure, Brooks, and it happened in March where she was pulled over by the police, and eventually she got arrested. So I'll show the video, but as I'm trying to move forward, I'm not trying to villainize anyone. So, like, as I talk about this situation, I'm not trying to villainize the police. I'm not trying to villainize this person, because police jobs are really hard. They have a lot of stress right now. The public seems to be against some of the police right now, and there's just a lot going. And I know myself, when I have stress, anything can push you over the edge. You're not who you are. Like, if I'm working my job and I have stressful situation, I'm going to be more of an irritable person. I might even be short with people, or may even be rude, even though it's rare for my type of personality. But when you're under tremendous amount of stress, and somebody or situation just adds to that stress, we all probably do it. You just kind of snap a little bit. You say something that you shouldn't have said. Your response is more hostile than what it normally is. You're more impatient than what you normally should be. So as I'm looking at this video, and I'll share with you in a minute, I'm thinking about just police in general. My understanding is that a lot of them are under stress, and we don't know what that feels like, what that looks like, what the situation is. And if you are a law enforcement officer and you're under stress, what does that look like when you're dealing with the public? Are you more hostile? Are you more angry? Are you more violent? Are you more quick and more willing to arrest someone that maybe shouldn't have been arrested? We don't know. Police officers are human, so we don't know. And that's one of the reasons why I've always taught my family and those that I talk to, is one of the things you have to keep in mind, that when you are dealing with police, you can't just be thinking about yourself. You have to be thinking about the police officer too, because you really don't know the type of stress they're under. And so as a citizen, when you encounter the police officer, you don't want to add to their stress by making it more difficult for them, because you don't know where their tipping point is and all the things that they've been through that day, that week, what have you. Sleep deprivation. I don't think I said it right, but when you don't have sleep, stress of the job, people fighting with people. You don't know how many people they fought with, and then here you are, another one. So you just don't want to unnecessarily add to it. And that's one of the things I just taught my family. I'm not trying to make excuses for what some police do or not do. I'm just saying that if we're going to grow in this thing, because for this growth to happen, we need police and we need citizens. So you just don't want to add to it. But at the same time, as a citizen, particular this female, and like I said, I don't know how to pronounce her name, Juanisha Brooks, I'm not sure, but it's normal for the most part. When you get pulled over by a police officer, you're going to be a little nervous. I mean, that's just a given. And I know as a person of color, you feel a little nervous. I would imagine most people in general feel a little nervous, though some people don't seem like they are, so I'm not sure. And that's just something that we as citizens, when we get pulled over, we're just going to have to deal with that. And I know people may be a little nervous because of the power that comes with that police officer. That police officer has a badge. That police officer has weapons. They have this uniform. They have all these symbolism of power. That police officer has technology. They have these radios and technology. That police officer has a car with a siren on it. And they have backup if they need it. So they have other police officers come. And then that police officer has the power to, arrest you, or the power to injure you, hurt you, or the power to just send you to jail or to ruin your life. I mean, there's a lot on the line when a police officer pulls you over. It's not always just a traffic situation. It could turn into worse because of that power. Not that most police officers abuse that power. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that there's that weight as a citizen, that there's that power. And we as citizens are relying upon the goodwill of that police officer with all that power. And our lives are literally in their hand when they pull us over. So they may pull you over for, a broken tail light or whatever the reason is. But as they approach you, you know that if they choose, they can do much more. So in this situation, in the video, the police officer approached, and they're professional, and they're making requests, and the lady is not complying with the request. She's asking questions. And she's afraid. And she says she's afraid. And she's afraid because of the power that a police officer represents. When the police officer pulled over, she was confused. She wasn't sure what was going on. She thought it was an ambulance, so she was trying to get out of the way, because those sirens are scary. I've been pulled over many times. I don't think I've ever had a siren on me, and if I did have a siren, it's more like they turn it on just for a minute, just for a flash to let you know that they're there, because maybe they don't think you saw them. So it's more like a warning siren. They just kind of flash it on. And then when that happens, you pull over. And I may have had that happen once. I'm not sure. But usually it's just a light. It's just a siren light. They just turn it on. You see it and you pull over. If I'm driving, if I ever see a siren, I know that police officer is going somewhere. They're not coming after me. I don't make that assumption. They're on their way to an emergency, something serious. So in this situation, as I watched the video, the sirens were on this person, and she became confused, and she was trying to get out of the way. I've had to happen myself, where not that a siren was on, but a police officer was booking. I was on the highway, and a police officer was booking behind me, after me. They were after me. I didn't know it. I didn't know I did anything wrong, and I didn't know it. So I tried to get out of their way. And as I tried to get out of their way, they switched lanes. And then I switched lanes again. They're still behind me. So finally I figured out, oh, okay, he's after me. So that was confusing. So when we pulled over, he was real nervous. He was hyped up. And I've never seen, police officers really nervous. I mean, I've seen nervous, but this one was like really hyped up nervous. As he approached the car. And it could have been because there was some confusion, on my part, that I didn't know that he was after me. He didn't have a siren on, he just had the lights on, but I just didn't know. So he was was a little nervous that he approached me, wanted to know if I had a weapon, that kind of stuff. Him being nervous made me a little nervous. But, I kept my calm and we got through it. But so I can understand this lady with the sirens. It can be confusing. She thought it was an ambulance. It could be confusing. You're just not expecting that to happen. So she didn't immediately pull over because she said she was confused. So then when she did, and she was going left, she was going right, she was putting her blinkers on. She really was just confused. She didn't know what to do, because it can be pretty powerful, a police car behind you with flashing lights, let alone a siren. That's pretty intimidating. So I get it. And then you bring in the fact that she's a female and she's all alone and she's scared and she doesn't know what to do. So these are the things that I saw that happened. But one of the things that I would caution, as I would tell my own family members as I watched this lady, and I'm not being judgmental of what she did, I'm not being judgmental of what the police did, because we all do our best and we're trying to improve and those kind of things. But they asked her to get out of the car, and that's a scary thing. I've been pulled over many times, and I've only been asked to get out of my car once. And when I was asked to get out of my car, yes, I did cooperate, but it was weird. It was weird why he was asking me to get out of my car and he wanted me to follow him back to his car. It's just a weird thing, because normally you would just, if it's a traffic violation or something like that, they wouldn't ask you to get out of the car. But they asked her to get out of the car. And the reason why they asked her to get out of the car, because I believe they were going to arrest her. And she knew something was wrong. She just wasn't sure. And they were going to arrest her because she had pulled over and stopped, I guess, to try to let them go by. And it didn't happen. And then she went forward because the sirens are on her and she's trying to get out of the way. She just doesn't know what to do. So we've got to teach ourselves in these situations. We've got to, as we watch people, like I said, I don't really like to watch these videos anymore, but we got to learn from these, and we've got to teach ourselves as we're working with the police, as the police are working with us. We got to know what to do before we get into these situations. A siren goes on and it's behind you, pull over. You're supposed to pull over anyway. Even if a siren is behind you, even if they're not after you, you still pull over, you let them by. And she didn't do that. She panicked. The police approached her and they asked her to get out of her car. She asked why, but they wouldn't really tell her why. If they're not going to tell you why, but they ask you to get out of the car, then you still need to get out of the car. You don't argue with them, because you're not going to win. You're not going to make it better in yourself. Let's say they want you to get out of the car because they're going to arrest you, they're going to handcuff you. There's nothing you can do about it. You're not going to talk yourself out of it. You're not going to reason with them. They've already made up their mind. And they're not going to tell you until you're handcuffed, you're out of the car, until they feel safe. It's just the way it is. So sitting there having a discussion or an argument, it's not going to work. You just cooperate. And like I tell my family and my kids, even if you go to jail, it's okay. Just quietly go to jail. Just quietly go to jail. You should be prepared in advance, though. Have an attorney's number, have money in your bank, have somebody that you can call to get you out. But just go to jail and quietly go to jail. Don't sit there and argue. Don't make it worse on yourself, because that's what we do as citizens. We're making it worse on ourselves. Now, I understand the fear, the terror. She's a woman. She's alone. There's 2, 3, maybe more police officers. There's this siren blaring. The police officer has guns. They don't pull them out, but they have handcuffs. Handcuffs are weird. I was handcuffed once. It's a weird thing to be handcuffed, behind your back. It's just, they're heavy. They hurt. They're tight. It's just a weird thing, knowing that you're getting handcuffed, that you may go to jail. I didn't go to jail. But knowing that you may go to jail for something you didn't do, it's just an odd thing. When you try to live your best life, you try to do what you think is best, And all of a sudden, this monkey wrench comes in your life where a police officer thinks you did something that you didn't do. They're telling you you're going to jail. This would happen to me. They handcuffed you, and they're telling you you're going to jail. And I didn't go to jail, and I'll tell that story another day. But that's the power they have. I'm not saying be afraid of it. I'm just saying respect it. Respect the power. Be prepared. Calm yourself. Have people you can talk to, a lawyer, somebody you can call. Just don't make it worse. And so then the question is, why did they pull her over? Because that's one of the things I think that we do need to work on with our law enforcement. They've been trained for many, many, many years to pull over for these things, and they search for situations like broken taillights or whatever it is. And sometimes these situations escalate. And so what I'm saying, I think that, we should figure out better reasons to pull someone over. Because if you pull someone over for a broken taillight or whatever they said they did, a taillight didn't work, whatever, because it happens. I've had taillights that don't work. You just don't know it. But I get pulled over, now you're in this situation, so you just got to keep calm. But we've got to work out something. I feel that, people aren't just arbitrarily getting pulled over for broken taillights. I'm not sure what you do in those situations. I don't know. But to scare somebody to death over a broken taillight, where they're being handcuffed and then they go to jail, there's just got to be a better way. It's not that the police officer wasn't doing their job, because they was. And I can understand the situation that the citizen was, because she was afraid. But somehow we've got to figure out doing better. And we are getting better. For sure, we are getting better. I think they're probably going to drop the charges. I'll show you the video now. I think they're probably going to drop those charges, if they haven't already, of this person. But we'll see. So she's a little confused here. She's going back and forth. She's not sure what to do. The blinkers are going this way, that way.
Can you step out here? I'll show you.
Why am I stepping out the car?
I'll show you what's wrong with your car.
You tell me right here.
Huh?
I said you can tell me right here. I don't really want to step outside my car.
Okay, I need you to step out of the car.
So at this point, she should have stepped out of the car.
What are you doing?
Stop.
Oh my God, you're hurting me. Get off. Okay, I've never been.
She's not helping her situation right now. I understand it, but she's not helping.
Do I get over on this side?
When's the last time you had something to drink?
When's the last time? Probably like 2 hours ago.
Okay. How much did you have to drink?
Regular cocktail.
Okay. You know what time you had that?
It was 2 hours ago.
Okay, you know what time it is now?
It's around 2 o'clock.
Okay.
In this situation, I can appreciate the female police officers are there. I think that's a good idea. So that's the gist of it. I mean, it's just a sad thing to see when people who don't usually get in trouble get arrested. It's just sad. So my hope is that as we discuss it, that not only are we helping the police us better, but we as citizens are learning how to deal with police and learning how to subside that fear that we have. And that the fear is real, it's genuine. Like she's saying, she's afraid of police. She doesn't want to get killed. That's real fear. That's a real fear, because police have that power. Not that police are killing a lot of people. I mean, they they kill people in line of duty, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying, but they do have the power. They have the weapons with them. They have the handcuffs with them. So the fear is real, but somehow we have to learn how to deal with that fear. We have fear. We have to teach each other. We have to have these conversations so that we're not in, because I was in a similar situation as her, a little different, but it didn't go the way hers did, you know? And maybe I was just lucky, but the reason why I feel mine didn't go the way hers did, because I just cooperated, I was calm, and just got through it. So that's all I got on that one. I'm hoping that we all learn and grow. If you have some comments you want to share about it, some advice you want to give, you don't have to agree with me. I appreciate that, so that we all can learn. We're not trying to villainize police, so let's don't do that. And we're not trying to villainize this person, what she did. Let's not do that either. But let's try to help each other so that we can just grow and just get through this thing. So peace and hope, everyone.